Starting over at 44. Mia Jackson had always believed life was a series of chapters, but at 44, she thought her book was nearing its final pages. Born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia, she was a proud African American woman who had built a life others admired, married, a stable career as a teacher, and a cozy suburban home. But behind the curated smiles and polite conversations was a woman quietly unraveling. Mia's marriage was a far cry from the dream she had envisioned. What began as a promising relationship filled with laughter and shared hopes slowly devolved into a partnership marked by indifference and stagnation. She had been with David for a total of 20 years, 10 years of dating followed by a decade of marriage. While she had poured her heart and soul into the relationship, hoping to build a life of love, mutual respect, and growth, David seemed content to coast along, unwilling to put in the work needed to sustain their union. From the outside, their marriage appeared steady, even enviable, but Mia knew the truth. Beneath the surface was a chasm of unmet needs, unspoken frustrations, and a growing sense of loneliness that David either couldn't see or chose to ignore. Sonia dreamed of a relationship filled with connection, emotional intimacy, and shared goals. Instead, she found herself in a marriage that wasn't even 10% of what she desired. Mia tried to be patient, holding on to the hope that things might change. She believed that with time, effort, and understanding, they could rekindle what they once had. She gave him chances, countless conversations, compromises, and silent prayers that one day he would wake up and fight for their marriage the way she was. But her hopes were met with complacency, and every unreciprocated effort chipped away at her resolve. After years of feeling invisible, unappreciated, and unfulfilled, Mia came to a painful but liberating decision. She realized that staying in a relationship where her needs and dreams were perpetually dismissed was slowly suffocating her spirit. With a heavy heart but newfound clarity, she filed for divorce. It wasn't easy. Walking away from 2 decades of shared history was like tearing apart the fabric of her own identity. But she knew it was the only way to reclaim herself and her future. The day she left their shared home was bittersweet. As she packed her belongings, each item a reminder of the life they had built together, she felt a mix of disappointment and quiet determination. With every box she filled, she was leaving behind not just a house, but a version of herself that had settled for less than she deserved. Starting over at 44 felt daunting, almost impossible at times. She was stepping into the unknown with no guarantees, but for the first time in years, Mia felt a flicker of hope. This wasn't just the end of her marriage, it was the beginning of a journey to rediscover who she was and what she truly wanted out of life. With her car loaded and her heart heavy but resolute, Mia drove away from the life she had known, ready to embrace the life she had yet to create. Mia moved into a modest yet charming apartment in the heart of downtown Atlanta. It wasn't much, a small 1-bedroom with simple furnishings, but it was hers. For the first time in decades, she had a space that truly felt like her own, unburdened by the expectations or compromises that had defined so much of her previous life. The soft hum of the city outside her window and the freedom to decorate her space however she liked gave her a sense of liberation she hadn't experienced in years. She hung up vibrant paintings, adorned her shelves with books she had long wanted to read, and filled her home with plants that seemed to breathe life into the cozy apartment. For the first time in what felt like forever, Mia felt truly happy. It was as if a heavy, invisible weight had been lifted from her shoulders. The stifling sense of obligation and emotional fatigue she had carried for years was finally gone, replaced by a lightness and hope she hadn't felt since her youth. Every morning, she woke up to a small but empowering sense of gratitude, grateful for her new beginning, her newfound independence, and, most importantly, for the courage it took to pursue the life she deserved. Each day felt like a gift, a chance to rediscover herself and build the life she had always dreamed of. Mia often reflected on how far she had come, and in those moments, she whispered prayers of thanks to God. She believed it was His strength that had given her the courage to leave the life that was draining her and step into the unknown. She didn't know exactly what the future held, but she trusted God to guide her through it. Her faith, though tested and stretched, became a source of solace and strength, a constant reminder that she wasn't walking this journey alone. In her free time, Mia began exploring new hobbies and interests that had always intrigued her, but were put on hold during her marriage. One of the more surprising pursuits was her decision to learn a new language, Korean. At first, it was a whim, sparked by curiosity after stumbling across a few videos online. She had no clear reason to choose Korean, no specific connection to the language or culture, but something about it intrigued her. The fluidity of the characters, the lyrical sound of the words. It was a challenge that awakened a part of her she hadn't engaged in years. As the days turned into weeks, her lessons became a comforting routine. She studied diligently, learning the alphabet, memorizing phrases, and practicing pronunciation. She filled her apartment with sticky notes of Korean vocabulary and watched subtitled dramas to familiarize herself with the rhythm of the language. Though she didn't entirely understand why she was so drawn to it, Mia felt compelled to keep going. Maybe it was just a way to fill the quiet hours. Or maybe, deep down, it was a whisper from God, pointing her towards something bigger than she could imagine. Whatever the reason, she embraced it wholeheartedly, letting it become a small but meaningful part of her fresh start. Mia didn't have to move to South Korea to find her true love, but her life's path seemed to intertwine with it in an unexpected way. It all began one quiet afternoon when she was scrolling aimlessly online, sipping her favorite herbal tea, and wondering what her next step in life should be. Among the endless array of articles and videos, one blog post caught her eye, a heartfelt piece about expats living in South Korea. The author described the journey of starting over in a foreign land with such vivid detail that Mia felt as if she were there, walking through the vibrant streets of Seoul, tasting unfamiliar foods, and basking in the glow of reinvention. 2 words jumped off the screen and imprinted themselves in her mind: reinvention and adventure. They spoke to her heart in a way she couldn't ignore. Traveling had always been a dream for Mia, a quiet, unspoken wish she had hidden. Beneath years of routines, obligations, and suppressed desires, her passport sat unused in a drawer, a testament to the life she had settled for, but never fully embraced. Now, with no ties holding her back, she began to think, why not? Mia didn't leap into the idea overnight. The decision came gradually, unfolding like a flower as she read more about South Korea, watched videos of its stunning landscapes, and even began practicing her Korean with a renewed sense of purpose. While she wasn't ready to uproot her life entirely, she allowed herself to imagine the possibilities. She reached out to the blog's author, asking questions about culture, language, and what it truly felt like to begin again in such a different place. The responses she received were encouraging, inspiring her to take the leap, not to move permanently, but to visit and explore the adventure that had been calling to her. 3 months later, Mia found herself stepping off a plane at Incheon International Airport. The journey wasn't about finding love, it was about finding herself. As she navigated the bustling terminal, the world around her buzzed with energy. Neon signs blinked from every corner, announcing everything from local eateries to high-tech gadgets. The aroma of street food wafted through the air, tempting her with promises of flavors she had never known. And the people, so many people moving with purpose, seemed to carry an energy that ignited something deep inside her. Her days in Seoul were a whirlwind of discovery. She wandered through traditional Hanok villages, marveling at the contrast between the cities, ancient heritage and its cutting-edge modernity. She learned how to order her favorite bibimbap in Korean, hiked through the lush trails of Bukhansan National Park, and spent hours sipping coffee in cozy cafes where she journaled about her experiences. For Mia, this wasn't just a trip. It was a journey of transformation, a chance to step into the unknown and grow into a version of herself she had only dreamed of being. Encouraged by a friend, Mia decided to turn those journal entries into a blog. She called it Second Chances Chronicles, where she shared her raw, unfiltered journey of rebuilding herself. To her surprise, the blog took off. Readers from around the world resonated with her vulnerability and honesty. A year later, a publisher approached her with an offer to turn her blog into a book. Overwhelmed but determined, Mia poured herself into the project. The book, Rewriting My Story, Finding Yourself at 44, became an instant bestseller, climbing the charts and earning her global recognition. Mia was no longer just a teacher or a divorcee. She was an inspiration. While Mia didn't intend for romance to be part of her story, fate had other plans. One rainy evening, as Mia strolled through the streets after a long day, the skies opened up with a torrential downpour. Without an umbrella, she darted into the nearest shelter, a quaint little bookstore tucked away on a side street. The air was filled with the comforting scent of aged paper and freshly brewed coffee. As Mia stepped inside, shaking the water from her coat, she collided, quite literally, with someone. Books tumbled from his hands, and she quickly bent down to help. "I'm so sorry," she exclaimed, embarrassed. The man laughed softly, his warm, deep voice sending an unexpected shiver down her spine. "No harm done," he replied in fluent English, his tone soothing. She looked up to meet his gaze and found herself staring into the kind eyes of a tall, impeccably dressed man. His tailored suit and confident demeanor contrasted sharply with the cozy chaos of their bookstore. "My name is Minjun," he said, offering a slight bow. He was 46, a South Korean entrepreneur, and, as Mia soon learned, a passionate lover of books. Their initial exchange was brief but marked by an undeniable spark. In the following weeks, that chance encounter blossomed into something deeper. What began as casual chats whenever Mia visited the bookstore soon turned into hours spent over coffee, talking about everything from literature to life's unexpected twists. Minjun had a way of listening that made Mia feel seen, as though her words were treasures he wanted to uncover. Minjun also had his own story. A successful businessman, he had spent years building his career, only to realize he'd neglected his own happiness in the process. Mia shared her struggles with starting over, and Minjun opened up about his challenges in balancing ambition with personal fulfillment. They found solace in each other's honesty, recognizing pieces of themselves in one another's journeys. As their connection grew, Minjun began introducing Mia to parts of Seoul she'd never imagined. He showed her the city through his eyes, leading her to hidden tea houses nestled in quiet alleyways, tranquil temples where the world seemed to pause, and vibrant markets bursting with color and life. Each experience felt like a new chapter in their unfolding story. Minjun wasn't just kind, he was steady, a calm presence that Mia hadn't realized she desperately needed. He grounded her in a way that made her believe she could fully embrace the life she was building. He respected her independence and cheered for her success, always reminding her that she was capable of extraordinary things. Months passed, and their bond deepened. They spent evenings walking along the Han River, their conversations blending with the sound of the gentle waves. On one particularly clear night, the moonlight reflecting on the water, Minjun turned to Mia, his expression uncharacteristically vulnerable. "I never thought I'd meet someone like you," he said, his voice trembling slightly. "You've taught me that it's never too late to find what truly matters." Mia's heart swelled as she met his gaze. For so long, she had wondered if she could ever trust herself to love again, to open her heart after all the disappointment it had endured. But in that moment, she realized Minjun wasn't just offering her love. He was offering her a partnership built on respect, understanding, and shared dreams. As she smiled at him, the city lights dancing in her eyes, she felt a quiet peace settle over her. Life had taken her on an unpredictable journey, but it had brought her here, to this moment, with this man. And for the first time, Mia felt as though she was exactly where she was meant to be. Mia and Minjun's love story flourished against the vivid, dynamic backdrop of Seoul, a city that mirrored the vibrancy of their relationship. Their bond wasn't just romantic, it was deeply supportive, a partnership where both grew and thrived together. Minjun was Mia's anchor as she navigated the challenges of her growing fame, offering quiet wisdom and thoughtful advice. He helped her manage the pressures of being in the spotlight while reminding her to stay true to herself. In return, Mia became Minjun's biggest cheerleader, urging him to rekindle his passion for community development. Together, they worked on projects that enriched the city they both adored. Initiatives that supported small businesses, beautified neglected neighborhoods, and provided opportunities for underprivileged children. Their shared efforts became a cornerstone of their relationship, uniting their individual dreams into a common purpose. Years later, as Mia sat in her cozy home office overlooking Seoul's skyline, she often reflected on the incredible journey that had brought her here. From the ashes of her old life in Atlanta to the bustling streets of South Korea, every step had been a leap of faith. She had transformed from a woman defined by others' expectations into someone who unapologetically carved out her own path. Her second book, Love in the Land of Morning Calm, captured her whirlwind romance with Minjun and the lessons she had learned about resilience, reinvention, and the courage to embrace the unknown. The memoir resonated with readers worldwide, climbing bestseller lists and sparking heartfelt conversations about love, second chances, and personal growth. It wasn't just a book. It was a testament to the beauty of starting over. By the time Mia turned 50, she had become an icon of inspiration, her journey touching the hearts of people from all walks of life. One crisp autumn evening, she stood on a grand stage in New York City, accepting a prestigious award for her contributions to literature and her impact on readers around the globe. As she delivered her speech, her voice filled with gratitude and emotion, her eyes sought out the man who had become her greatest source of strength. In the audience, Minjun sat among the crowd, his gaze locked on her with an expression of unshakable pride and love. His presence was a reminder of how far they had come together, from an accidental meeting in a Seoul bookstore to a life they had built side by side. His smile radiated the deep admiration they had cultivated through years of mutual support and unwavering commitment. Their story wasn't just about falling in love. It was about building a life rooted in respect, shared purpose, and the belief that the best days are always ahead. Mia's journey, from disappointment to a life filled with love and fulfillment, wasn't just one of survival. It was a powerful testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Her story became a beacon of hope for countless others, proving that life's most extraordinary chapters often arrive when we least expect them. Mia had once believed her book was nearing its final pages, but she now realized her story had only just begun. No matter where you are in life, or how old you may feel, Mia's incredible journey is a testament to the idea that it's never too late to rediscover yourself, uncover your true purpose, and embrace the love you deserve. Whether you're standing at a crossroads, facing the weight of past disappointments, or simply wondering if your best days are behind you, Mia's story reminds us all that life is full of unexpected opportunities and second chances. Her journey shows that reinvention isn't confined to a particular age or circumstance. It's a choice you can make at any moment. She didn't just find her purpose in her 40s, she discovered the courage to pursue it unapologetically. She didn't just find her voice, she amplified it through her writing, inspiring countless people worldwide. And she didn't just stumble upon love, she built it, nurtured it, and allowed it to flourish in a way that honored who she had become. Mia's life is proof that every setback can be a stepping stone, every ending can be a new beginning, and every age is the perfect age to chase the life you've always dreamed of. Her journey encourages us all to keep striving, keep believing, and keep our hearts open to the endless possibilities that the future holds. Love knows no boundaries, and neither should your dreams. If Mia and Minjun's journey of love and self-discovery inspired you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more heartwarming stories. What's your dream adventure? Share it with us in the comments.